Want to work with AI? Try being an AI prompt engineer. If you're interested in a career as an AI prompt engineer, here are the skills you'll need. 1. Language proficiency. Generative AI prompts don't usually require any knowledge of coding, and instead work more like a real-life conversation. Because of this, it is important that you be an expert in your target language. You'll need to make prompts that are clear for the AI systems to understand. 2. Critical thinking. Being capable of thinking in a critical way and watching how AI responds to different prompts is a key part of the job. You must always question what the AI provides to make sure that its responses are accurate and useful. 3. Problem solving. You'll often come across challenges in developing prompts that work effectively. Being able to spot obstacles and overcome them is important. 4. Familiarity with AI tools. Get used to AI tools and platforms such as OpenAI's GPT. Understanding how these systems function will be part of your daily work. 5. Continuous learning. The world of AI is changing rapidly. For it to remain effective, you must be willing to always learn the latest developments. With a little thought, you too can play a significant role in shaping the AI world of tomorrow.
Hi everyone, welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Elsie.
And today we're going to continue our look at the career of an AI prompt engineer, the person who puts things into an AI, a generative AI, and tries to make sure it gives other users the best response by teaching it and helping it learn. So part 2 of the article begins, if you're interested in a career as an AI prompt engineer, here are the skills you'll need. So this is a list. This part of the article is more like a list. So we've got numbered points. Number 1, language proficiency.
Proficiency 这个名词指的是熟练跟精通，所以呢 language proficiency 代表的是精通语言，所以你要精通的是你的 target language， 就是你的目标语言，表示呢在生成 AI 上面要使用的语言。
Okay, so the article says generative AI prompts don't usually require any knowledge of coding, so that's software coding, and instead work more like a real-life conversation. So you say something, it says something back, and so on. And the article says, because of this, it is important that you be an expert in your target language. You've got to really know how to use it. If you use bad language, bad grammar, spell things wrong, use words that don't mean what you think they mean, you'll be giving the AI bad data, so it will produce bad responses. You need to be pretty good. The article, that sentence in the article contained today's language in focus, so let's learn more about it now. 今天的 language in focus 要讲到的是 it is 加上形容词，再加上 that， 再加上主词以及动词。那中间呢会有一个 should， 不过呢它经常被省略。那这些形容词我们可以用什么呢？像是 important、critical， 好 critical 指的是非常重要的。那 necessary 需要的、必要的，或是 advisable 明智的，好，还有 essential 必要的、极其重要的，还有像是 desirable 理想的、可取的，这些都可以放在句子当中。那说明呢 that 后面的名词子句当中所要叙述的事件或是行为的必要性或是重要性。那刚刚有讲到哦 that 子句呢常会用主词加上 should 以及一个原形动词的形式，主要是希望读者或听者能够按照其指示行事，通常会省略 should 这个字。So for example, it is important that you follow the rules. 你遵守规则是很重要的一件事情，或者是呢 it is essential that we act quickly， 我们必须赶快行动。所以刚刚两个例句当中 should 都被省掉了。那在这个句型当中呢，部分的形容词也可以改写为名词的形式哦，常见于正式的写作当中。那后方的子句的动词仍然是 should 加上原形动词，那句型就是 it is of 加上形容词加上名词 that 加上主词 should 以及一个原形动词。So for example, it is of great importance that you should finish all of your work by tomorrow. 在明天之前要完成你所有的工作是非常重要的，然后 should 一样可以省略。
So why do you need to be an expert in your target language? The article explains you'll need to make prompts that are clear for the AI systems to understand. Just like when you're writing anything and you're trying to teach something, you've got to make it easy for the learner. Let's move on to point 2.Critical thinking.
OK， 所以我们首先说语言是很重要的，再来第二个就是 critical thinking。critical 这个形容词指的是批判性的，所以 critical thinking 就是批判思考的能力，这个也是很重要的。
Yeah, this is a really important skill to learn no matter what kind of career you're in. Critical thinking is a super important skill to kind of step back and really think, what's it doing?Why is it doing this? Maybe I'm the one who did something wrong. What am I trying to achieve? Kind of that sort of level of thinking. The article says being capable of thinking in a critical way and watching how AI responds to different prompts is a key part of the job. Now that sentence used the adjective capable.If you are capable of doing something, you are able to do that thing. You have that ability. It could mean a specific ability, like you are capable of critical thinking or problem solving or that kind of thing. You're capable of speaking English well. Or it could mean in general, if someone is a capable worker, they can do their job, they can take on a bit of extra work. They generally have a decent ability in their area at lots of different things.Let's look at a sentence for each of them. You could say, the fast runner is capable of running 100 meters in less than 12 seconds. Or for the more general meaning, Joe is a capable worker. We can give him all kinds of jobs and he'll do them well.Capable
这个形容词呢，就是能够做点点点的，或是有能力的。那我们会搭配 of 这个介系词，所以是 be capable of doing something。好，或者是呢后面直接加上一个名词也可以，那代表就是能做点点点的。所以课文说到能够做批判性思考，并且 watch 观察 AI 它是如何回应，是这个工作当中相当重要的部分。所以我们看到动词回应反应是 respond to something， 那就是针对某事做回应。
Okay, so why do you need to be good at critical thinking? Because, as the article says, you must always question what the AI provides to make sure that its responses are accurate and useful. Okay, so that doesn't mean that okay, here's the prompt, great, move on to the next thing. You've got to be critical. Is this good? Is this bad? Why is it good or bad? Is it what I asked for? How could I get more of what I want and less of what I don't? That's why you need to be critical about it. Really think of something's good and bad points and maybe in your own prompts, what was good and bad about those.Now, in that sentence, we use the word response. Let's take a moment to find out what this word means. A response is something that is said or done as a reply to something else. Generally, it could just be you say something to a person, they give you a response. You do something, and then something else happens as a response to what you did. Here in the article context, it means what the ChatGPT or the other AI system says to you. You put something in, here's the response. Here's an example sentence in a more general way.What was your parents' response when you told them you wanted to study art instead of business?
我们刚才有提到呢，动词是 respond， 那名词的形式也要学一下，就是 response。好，所以呢，名词就是代表回应啦、回复或是答案。那这边有用一个形容词来形容它哦，这个形容词是 accurate。Yeah,
we want the responses to be useful, you can use them, but also accurate. If something is accurate, it is complete and correct in detail. Now, you may have read or heard that one problem with a lot of these AI systems is that they make stuff up. They can't find the right facts, so they just put in the details of their own, or they get the details wrong and mix them up. And you go, hang on, what you've actually said, you've muddled that somehow. It's a problem that these AIs have. So you need to make sure, that means going to check all the facts to make sure AI isn't just creating nonsense. Here's an example sentence. The news report was not accurate, so the news company got in a lot of trouble.
Accurate 这个形容词呢，就是准确的、正确无误的，所以你要确保 AI 能够给出的资讯是准确的、正确无误的，这样才好。
So we've had language proficiency, we've had critical thinking, and number 3 is problem solving. So this is another important skill to have no matter what job you're in. You've found a problem, let's figure out what we can do about it. The article says you'll often come across challenges in developing prompts that work effectively. The phrasal verb come across simply means to meet, to encounter something. I've read this response, it's not accurate. Like we said before, there's a problem here. I've come across a problem. It keeps making stuff up when I ask it things. So you'll need to solve this problem effectively. This is another adverb, and it means to do something in an effective, quick, efficient way that works well. And of course, if you solve a problem effectively, that problem doesn't come back again next time. Here's another example sentence for this one. This medicine worked effectively. My headache was gone in 20 minutes.
Effectively 是个副词哦，代表的是有效的。那它修饰在课文当中修饰前方的动词 work。那待会呢，我们会看到它形容词的形式，其实就是字尾 ly 把它拿掉就可以了。
Yeah, and here's a bit more detail on that. Being able to spot obstacles and overcome them is important. Let's now take a look at the word obstacle from that sentence. An obstacle is a problem. It's something that needs to be solved or removed because it's making things difficult, making things slower, maybe even making things impossible. It could be a physical obstacle, like I'm hiking and there's a rock in the way of the path. That's an obstacle. I need to climb over it or go around it. You can also have less physical obstacles, maybe not having enough money, not having enough people to do the work, not having a person with the right skills. These are all obstacles that might stop a business from accomplishing what it wants to accomplish. Here's an example sentence like that. There are several obstacles that are stopping us from completing the project in time.
Obstacle 这个名词呢，指的是阻碍。那有阻碍、有障碍，就要去 overcome 它们。那 overcome 代表就是克服。所以说呢 ，problem solving 这个 skill 是非常重要的。
Okay, so we've got to be good with language so that we can give it very clear prompts. We've got to be critical with our thinking so we understand what's wrong with the responses. We've got to be good at problem solving so that we can fix those things we notice with our critical thinking. What else? Number 4, familiarity with AI tools. Of course, if you don't really know how they work, you won't be able to do much with them. So the article says, get used to AI tools and platforms such as OpenAI's GPT. And of course, the article goes on to explain understanding how these systems function will be part of your daily work. So that means you need to know the way it works. You need to know how to ask the right questions, what kind of responses it does give, where it goes to get those responses, when the system is being slow, all of that kind of thing. It's the language you use. It's working out all the kind of software and what it does.
OK， 那接下来呢？除了刚刚4个之外，还有第5个。
Yeah.
What is the 5th skill?
Continuous learning.
Continuous 这个形容词是连续不断的，所以还要连续不断的学习。Like you mentioned, we have to learn how to use the tools.
Yeah. But learning how to use it doesn't mean you've learned that's it, that's done forever. You've learned them and it's over. The article says the world of AI is changing rapidly. It's changing very fast. Just think, like 12, 15 months ago, we didn't have any of this stuff. And then it appeared and people were like, okay, what does it do? And now it's all going faster and people are coming up with new ideas. And that's what this kind of part 5 is about, as the article says. For it to remain effective, for AI to remain effective, you must be willing to always learn the latest developments. So that sentence used the verb remain, to remain effective, to remain good at this job, for AI to remain very useful. It means that it stays in a certain condition without changing. If you don't change, the AI doesn't change, it won't remain useful. But if you change and the AI learns continuously every day, then it still stays useful, it remains useful. You could also say the weather is set to remain cold and rainy for most of this week.
Remain 这个动词呢是保持，那你后方可以接上形容词。好，所以呢我们接的是 effective 这个形容词，那就是发挥效果的。那它可以用来形容很多的东西，像是呢 an effective way or method 就是有效的方式，或是 an effective solution 一个有效的解决办法，还有就是 an effective treatment 好一个有效的这个治疗。
Okay, so those are a set of skills that you will need to either already have or learn how to do if you want to be an AI prompt engineer. And that brings us to the conclusion of this article. It says, with a little thought, you too can play a significant role in shaping the AI world of tomorrow. So yeah, maybe some of you guys at school are already using AI to try and do some of your jobs or just play around with it, get good at it, and then maybe in the future you could get a job in this and you could be helping to create the next kind of ChatGPT or whatever else is out there. So that brings us to today's For You Chat question. We talked today about all the things you would need to be a good AI prompt engineer. So the question is, think about what job you'd most like to do. What skills do you need for that job?
I would want a job that can make me be surrounded with yes, of course, and I can use English all the time.
So what skills do you need for that job?
I have to be good at English.
Okay. Well, let's take your job as a teacher. What skills do you need to have to be a good teacher?
A lot of skills.
Give me a few.
So of course you have to be, good at English, and you have to know like what's going on in those students' minds.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to understand them, understand their needs, and you also need to, a lot.
Be extremely patient.
Yes.
Be enthusiastic.
Right. Be passionate about your job.
Okay. If I take the skill, for example, like my upstairs job, editing.
Yes.
I need to be creative, come up with good ideas. I need to have a very good eye for details.
Right.
I need to make sure that if there's any mistakes or anything that's not quite good enough, I can see that, spot that, and make it better.
And you also have to be very, very patient. Right?
Sometimes with some of my co-workers, yes, patience goes a long way.
I didn't mean that part.
Well, that's often what I think of.
Because you have to spend a lot of time in your chair.
That's not so bad.
Looking at your computer and,
That's not really about patience. That's more about knowing how to, work at a job and when to get up and walk around and take a break and do all the rest of that stuff. But yeah, patience doesn't hurt, put it that way. Those are two of the main ones. Being a good communicator, you need to kind of, if somebody's asking you questions, you need to make sure you answer it in a way that they understand. And if there's a problem, you tell them not just this is wrong, but why this is wrong and what we can do about it next time. So that brings us to the end of our article today. Maybe it's given you some ideas about what you might want to do in the future. But we're out of time. Thanks very much for watching. For English for You, I'm Pat.
I'm Elsie.
And we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review. Capable. My eyes are getting worse. I'm no longer capable of driving without glasses. Response. Michelle apologized to Sue for being rude. She said bad things in response to not being invited to Sue's party. Accurate. The movie gives an accurate look at life in the 18th century in this country. Effectively. Janine thinks that she works more effectively if she eats breakfast early in the morning. Obstacle. One of the biggest obstacles in this project is the short amount of time we have to complete it. Remain. After Julie saw the fight, she couldn't remain silent and decided to talk to the teacher.
智慧小补帖
Proficiency. Critical. Overcome. Continuous.